decade after the Zarkanians' retreat from New Eden, interstellar space buzzed with fresh opportunities and uneasy alliances. On Earth, monuments to the fallen and tributes to those who'd forged humankind's future underscored the price of survival. New Eden, once scarred by burning debris and the thrum of invader warships, now thrived as a hub for interspecies collaboration. Yet even as humanity settled into its new place in the galaxy, undercurrents of tension rippled through distant star systems. Some voices on the Galactic Council believed humans had grown too powerful. Others whispered rumors of a threat from beyond the known frontier, where neither human nor Zarkanians dared to tread. High Counselor Zixa's bioluminescent skin pulsed with concern as she presided over yet another extraordinary session of the Galactic Council. The Grand Chamber was packed with representatives, some new, drawn by curiosity about Earth's rapid ascent, others uneasy, recalling how one human weapon, the Arcturus defense platform, had decimated the Arcanians. Arcturus defense platform had decimated the Arcanians. At the center of the chamber, the shimmering holographic sphere displayed a sector of the galaxy where entire star systems faded into static. A hush fell as Zixa extended her tentacles, motioning for silence. "Esteemed delegates," she began, her voice carried by universal translators across the gathering. "Our long-range probes have detected a peculiar phenomenon beyond the rimward expanse. Systems once bustling with trade have gone dark. No communications, no traffic. We must investigate." She read the note. "Rebel fighters have destroyed several fleet systems," my commander read on. "Earth-Elt will cease to operate. We must investigate and destroy. Earth-Elt will cease to..." Seated alongside other ambassadors, Aisha Okono, formerly Captain Okono, now Earth's newly appointed ambassador, exchanged a glance with Admiral Helena Zhao, who had traveled from Earth specifically for this session. The swirling rumors had reached Earth's ears too. Something out there was swallowing entire civilizations, or at least silencing them. Delegate Kaiser stood nearby, his once proud exoskeleton dulled by political defeat. The Zarkanians' empire had fractured after their humiliating retreat, but Kaiser remained in power among a remnant faction searching for a chance to rebuild. He clicked his mandibles in frustration. "This is an overreaction, High Counselor. Our scouts have found only rumors, no tangible threat." Ambassador Okono spoke calmly, though her posture was firm. "We too have heard unsettling reports. If entire systems have gone silent, we can't ignore it. Humanity stands ready to aid any investigation." She could feel the Council's attention shift to her, both respect and wariness emanating from the crowd. After a lengthy debate, the Council agreed. A joint task force would venture into the rimward expanse to uncover the source of the disruption. Earth pledged ships and personnel, while the Council appointed High Counselor Zixa to oversee the mission. Aboard UES Indomitable, recently refitted for deep space exploration, Captain Aisha Okono returned to her old command one last time before officially transferring ambassadorial duties to her deputy. The starship's corridors thrummed with renewed purpose. As she stepped onto the bridge, she felt a rush of nostalgia. Commander Jack O'Neill, her former executive officer, rose from the captain's chair. "Ambassador Okono," he greeted with a slight grin, or shall I say, "Captain," she returned his grin. "I'm just here for a final walkthrough, Commander. The Council's mission demands more than diplomacy. It needs explorers and soldiers. You'll be heading out with this joint fleet." Down in the Indomitable's hangar, Admiral Zhao conferred with teams of techs installing advanced scanning arrays. Dr. Hiroshi Tanaka, the architect of the Arcturus platform, hovered nearby wearing a cautious look. His research group had engineered new sensor technologies that could detect exotic energy signatures. "We've made significant improvements to the sensors," he explained, especially in detecting gravitational anomalies or cloaked signals. Whatever's out there, we won't be caught off guard. Yet a lingering tension infected the crew. The mission was shrouded in uncertainty. Were they chasing pirates, a cosmic plague, or something far worse? Everyone knew how swiftly a single spark could escalate into an interstellar crisis, something humanity could not afford after the devastating Zarkanians' war. On New Eden, Dr. Elena Sato busied herself with daily responsibilities at the Xenocultural Exchange Program. Since the liberation of the colony, she had transitioned from crisis-mode physician to director of collaborative research. Aliens from across the galaxy, now frequent visitors, studied human biology, learned about Earth's ecological practices, and shared knowledge of their own worlds. 0212, Marcus Chen, her trusted colleague, approached with an eager expression. "Elena, you're not going to believe the new data we just received." He gestured to a holographic display, which showed strange energy readings from a colony near the rimward expanse. These readings match some that we picked up during the Zarkanians' invasion. Unstable wormhole activity, and Elena leaned in, heart quickening. If wormholes are destabilizing, it could explain why communication's lost. We need to get this to the Council's task force ASAP. Before long, a secure transmission linked New Eden to the Indomitable. Dr. Saito and Marcus briefed Admiral Zhao, Ambassador Okono, and Dr. Tanaka on the peculiar data. As the call ended, all involved felt a creeping sense of dread and excitement. If a natural wormhole phenomenon was devouring star systems, it might be unstoppable, or perhaps harnessable. The Joint Task Force set course for the rimward expanse. Over 24 ships from various Council civilizations, some crystalline, others organic, and several AI-driven, cruised beside the blocky metallic hulls of Earth's vessels. High Counselor Zixa's flagship, Illumina, led the formation, glowing with the soft pulses of her species' biodrive. Days passed in the silent stretch of space before the fleet arrived at the outer edge of the afflicted zone. Their long-range scanners flickered erratically, as though a cosmic storm scrambled all signals. Captain O'Neill, now commanding the Indomitable, watched the readings on his station with deepening concern. "We're picking up debris fields. Looks like fragments of ships, at least 4 different types, possibly more." Aboard the Illumina, High Counselor Zixa conferred with Admiral Zhao via hololink. "Admiral," Zixa said, her tendrils curling in agitation, "there are no life signs in the debris. Send reconnaissance drones. We must learn who or what caused this." Earth's advanced drones sporting Tanaka's newly developed scanning apparatus fanned out. Their cameras and sensors fed back images of twisted metal and organic husks floating in a gravitationally unstable region. Flickers of unknown energy crackled between the wreckage, like lightning in slow motion. Suddenly, a drone picked up a fleeting signal, a distress beacon of unidentifiable origin. It was faint, its encryption unfamiliar. "Commander O'Neill," reported a drone operator. "We've located the source deeper in the anomaly field. It's risky, but we might be able to navigate closer." Leaving most of the fleet at a safe distance, a small task group ventured into the turbulent zone. The Indomitable's shields crackled with energy, battered by waves of invisible force. 2 alien craft accompanied it, one from the Silicon Consciousness, another from the amphibious Kelari, known for their excellent deep space scanning. "I had a sense for our position," LaCroix said. Inside the Indomitable's bridge, tension mounted. O'Neill kept his voice steady. "Reduce speed by half. Keep scanning. If anything so much as twitches, I want to know." The swirling darkness of space seemed alive with flickers of blue and purple radiation. Then the faint distress beacon spiked in intensity. "We're close," the sensor officer announced. "Signals coming from a vessel trapped in some kind of gravitational eddy." Peering through the forward viewport, the crew caught sight of a derelict ship, a battered, elongated hull with markings no one recognized. Patches of shimmering purple energy gripped the ship, twisting its structure like a child's toy. "Prepare rescue teams," O'Neill ordered. "We'll attempt to stabilize it with a tractor beam. If we can free them, we might learn what's going on here." With the skill honed through countless simulations, the Indomitable's tractor beams latched onto the alien craft, straining to pull it clear of the vortex. Alarms blared as the energy field fought back, flaring violently around the drifting wreck. The ship's hull groaned, as if on the verge of collapse. Admiral Zhao's voice came over the comm, steady but urgent. "You have 1 minute before we risk catastrophic feedback. Abandon the rescue if necessary. Your safety is paramount." "Stand by," O'Neill replied. "We're almost there." In a crescendo of shrieking metal, the derelict emerged from the anomaly's grip. The battered craft was brought alongside the Indomitable. Damage was extensive. Gaping holes dotted its hull, and half its interior was exposed to vacuum. A boarding party in pressurized suits made their way inside. Dr. Tanaka accompanied them, curious to study the unknown vessel's technology. What they found inside was grim. Corridors ravaged by fire, life support systems offline, and in one corridor, a handful of alien survivors barely clinging to life. Tending to them with emergency medkits, Dr. Tanaka activated his translator. "We're here to help," he said gently, unsure if they understood. The alien's skin was a pale, shimmering gray, with large, sorrowful eyes. One reached out a trembling hand and spoke in a halting voice. "Sentient eater," it stammered, fear etched in every syllable. "It comes, devours." Evacuated to the Indomitable's medbay, the survivors stabilized under the care of human and Kalari doctors. Bit by bit, they managed to recount their story. An entity referred to in their tongue as the Eater roamed beyond the rimward expanse. It swallowed energy, matter, and even sentient minds, leaving planets and fleets adrift. First rebel. Affection. The mention of minds devoured, unsettled everyone who heard it. Dr. Tanaka relayed this to High Counselor Zixa and Admiral Zhao. "This might be more than a cosmic phenomenon," he said. "It could be a life form or collective intelligence feeding on entire star systems." Zixa's tentacles coiled. "We must return with this knowledge to the Council. If an unknown entity is this dangerous, it threatens us all." Despite the pressing urge to flee, the Indomitable's drones and allied ships continued gathering evidence. They discovered more wreckage and recorded gravitational distortions that hinted at a vast presence deeper in the anomaly field. Each new reading supported the survivors' tale. Something out there was indeed devouring entire civilizations. High Counselor Zixa ordered the fleet to pull back and regroup at New Eden. The battered alien survivors traveled with them, their fear still palpable. The moment they dropped from faster-than-light travel above New Eden's golden skies, relief was universal. "I'm so glad you came," Zixa said. Her gravity made her clearest tone. She was emotionless. On the surface, Governor Alina Sato convened an urgent council of her own, inviting scientists, military leaders, and ambassadors to examine the data. Marcus Chen presented wormhole analyses that demonstrated how the Eater could manipulate space-time to trap ships. "We see irregularities in gravitational fields that correlate with the Eater's presence," Marcus explained, projecting a rotating 3D map. "It's as if it's creating pockets or tunnels to pull in anything that drifts too close." Meanwhile, the distressed refugees from the derelict ship sat in a protected wing of the Xenocultural Exchange Center. Even with advanced translation software, their descriptions of the Eater remained fragmented and dire. In hushed tones, they told of worlds gone silent overnight, entire populations left comatose or vanished. Word of the Eater spread like wildfire. the Galactic Council convened once more, this time with humanity at the table, fully recognized. Ambassadors from dozens of species, including remnants of the Zarkanians, listened as Admiral Zhao and High Counselor Zixa detailed the threat. Kaiser, representing a fragment of the Zarkanians, was visibly shaken by the reports. "What do we do against such a foe?" he demanded, a quiet tremor in his voice replacing his once arrogant tone. Aisha Okono rose to address the assembly. "This is not a single-species problem. The Eater doesn't discriminate between human, Zarkanians, or any other civilization. We've all seen how quickly it can spread. Our only chance is a united defense, and a united approach to uncovering what this entity is. We are not one people. Our civilization is pared down to..." Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. The Council, though wary of handing more power to humanity, could not deny Earth's proven bravery and technological edge. Ultimately, they voted to establish a Joint Research and Defense Initiative, JRDI, combining fleets and resources from multiple species. Earth would lead the technological wing of the project, using the Arcturus defense platform as a potential shield or weapon of last resort. The resort, as the council session adjourned, an undeniable tension lingered in the vaulted halls. Threatening reports continued to arrive, new pockets of silence near the rimward expanse, traces of gravitational distortions creeping ever closer to established trade routes. On Earth, Dr. Tanaka and his team began modifying the Arcturus platform. They worked around the clock, running simulations to see if its gravitational lens technology could repel the Eater's anomaly fields without destroying entire star systems in the process. On New Eden, fleets from half a dozen races, some allied for the first time in centuries, assembled in orbit. Captain O'Neill, overseeing final preparations aboard the Indomitable, felt the weight of expectation. If the Eater reached populated space, the cost would be unimaginable. If they reached Eden himself, then the wrath of the gods would ensue. If the Eater reached populated space, the cost would be unimaginable. Meanwhile, down on the colony, Dr. Alina Sato walked through the tranquil gardens with one of the alien survivors, a being called Vishara, who looked in awe at the reborn settlement. "You reclaimed your world from conquerors," Vishara said in a soft, melodic voice. "Perhaps you can help us reclaim our stars from the Eater." Elena placed a reassuring hand on Vishara's shoulder. "We'll try," she said gently, thinking of Earth's tumultuous journey from near defeat to leadership. Humanity has faced impossible odds before. We don't face this alone either. The galaxy stands with us. Together, we might have a chance. As night fell on New Eden, twin suns dipping below the horizon, the future felt poised on a knife's edge once more. Across the galaxy, warships gathered, scientists debated, and entire civilizations anxiously awaited the next step. Humanity had risen to prominence through fire and sacrifice. Now, they would have to prove themselves anew, against a threat more mysterious and possibly more lethal than any empire or army. And in the silent darkness of the rimward expanse, something stirred, vast, hungry, and aware of the many sparks of life converging against it. A new chapter had begun. The galaxy's fragile unity, forged in the fires of the Zarkanians' war, was about to be tested by an otherworldly menace that threatened them all. Yet humanity and its allies stood undaunted, ready to explore, to defend, and to confront whatever lay in the silent void beyond the stars. All-out war.